get the chance to talk to folks about what I do as a piano teacher, I really am interested to hear what their experience with piano lessons has been. I keep finding a couple themes come up. The first one is that the teacher did not let them play the kind of stuff that they wanted to play. The second one is that the teacher wouldn't let them learn stuff that felt really useful or relevant to their lives. Third one is that they maybe played for a little bit as a kid, but now they think they're too old, or they kind of missed that window. So I want to talk about all those things because they just keep coming up, and I think there's some really important points here. The first one, in terms of teachers not letting them play what they wanted to play, I think whether you are a kid or an adult, this is so sad. This is so discouraging. You can learn so much from really any piece of music. I don't care if it is a classical piece. I don't care if your kid really wants to learn like the Minecraft theme. Like, there's so much learning to be done. There is no need to squash people's like interest and curiosity by forcing them to like only learn what's in a piano book, especially when it's private instruction, whether that's, any instrument. There's so much room and opportunity to get to learn things you're excited about. So you should get to learn things you're excited about. And if that's your experience, I'm sorry. Come hang out with Tony and me. We teach lessons where we are student-led, right? So what that means is what your student is curious about is what we're going to follow. We can help mold what they're learning. We can help introduce important and helpful ideas and theories and techniques. But at the end of the day, if your kid or adult, whoever the student is, if they're not having fun, what's the point, right? So I'm really sorry if that was your experience, and I hope that we can do differently in the future. The other thing is, and this is kind of an offshoot, is they weren't allowed to learn things that were relevant to them. So maybe they were in a band and they weren't allowed to kind of work on the stuff that would actually help them in the band. Or maybe I've had teachers say, oh, well, it would have been more helpful for me to learn this way because this is what I do when I teach, etc. And again, I'm sorry, I don't feel like that should be the way we teach. I don't feel like we should be so strict to a lesson book or so strict to a technique that we don't have opportunity to learn things that are really relevant for us. So if there's something you're particularly passionate about learning with music, or something that's super helpful for you in your life, you should totally get to learn that. Again, we come from a very unschooling alternative ed philosophy where your interests, your needs should be what is leading the process rather than something that's super arbitrary and might not serve your needs as well. The last thing I wanted to talk about is missing a window. This is interesting. It tends to come up more with adults, but sometimes with teens too. You see it where people will say, oh, well, I didn't start when I was 4 or 5, so there's no point. That's so not true. You can learn at any age. It is so good to learn new things. It is so good to study music at any age. There's just so many benefits. You did not miss that window. And especially as an adult, I think we forget that, especially with little kids, when you're beginning, right, the practice expectations are quite small because that makes sense for beginners. So if you're a grown-up, I think it can kind of stress us out to be like, oh, I need to practice like an hour or 2 every day. No, you don't. You're going to be fine. If you can come near lessons, if you can put in a little practice here and there, you're going to see a lot of improvement, and it's going to bring a lot of joy in your life to get that music in there and that learning in there, even if it's maybe a little different from what you expected. So I hope that helps. Those are 3 things I hear come up a lot. You should totally get to study the music that inspires you. You should be able to practice and work on things that are really helpful for you in your life. And there's no too late. It's never too late. You're not too old. You can start learning piano, guitar, anything you want at any time. Music is for everybody at every age. If you want to take lessons with Tony and me, we come from a very unschooling alternative ed background where we want to be led by our students' curiosity and interest and provide the resources and techniques that they need to support their goals. So feel free to check out our website. That's interludemusiclessons.com, or you can go to the link in the bio. And I really hope I get to work with you.